Okay, this is the Dragon Age 2 review. Now, I no longer own this game, but um, I still remember the foul taste it left in my mouth. Basically everything that Dragon Age Origins did right and Awakening did right, Dragon Age 2 did completely wrong. The only thing that got better were the graphics and the battle system. But the actual storyline, the character development, the party management, everything, as I said, that Dragon Age Origins did right, Dragon Age 2 did wrong. Okay? So let's get into the story. In this game, you play Hawke. Whether you're male or female, you're Hawke. Now, the problem with this is that the original Dragon Age enabled you to create your own character, your own name, your own background. I mean, it wasn't complete freedom, not like Skyrim where you can basically, you're the chosen one, but you can be whatever the hell you want. I mean, it was like, it gave you quite a few choices, and then you went with what you had to go with. Sure, Dragon Age 2 kind of, forced you into this role. You could only be 3 classes. You had very little control over any of your other characters. So basically, you play Hawke. Male or female, you're Hawke. And your family is trying to get away from the Blight, okay? During the time of when the Blight was gearing up to wipe out Ferelden, your character's family is trying to get away. During the getaway, one of your siblings dies. So there's 3 of you, one of them dies, so there's 2 left. On top of that, your character's mother is alongside you, so you have to, the first thing you have to do is look out for your family. So you escape to this city called Kirkwall, and you basically wind up having to do some unsavory things, which you never learn what you have to do because the game skips like 7 years during this time, because why give the players more gameplay? I mean, what type of silly idea is that? So basically, so the first part of your 7-year stay is your character doing unsavory jobs for a local criminal enterprise in order to make enough money to help your family out. Now, after you get your family set up and everything's starting to look pretty good, some shit jumps off and your character has to wind up, helping out different factions around the city. Basically, this is the entire game. There's only 4 or 5 dungeons, so the storyline is you go around trying to find bits and pieces, ultimately, of this statue, of this icon that basically drives people mad and gives them magical abilities but drives them crazy at the same time. Ultimately, this culminates with you fighting the #1 important lady in the entire damn city, a Templar, head Templar, and starting the war that kicks off the events in Dragon Age 3, but we'll get to that in our next video. So basically, gameplay. Oh god. As I said earlier, everything that Dragon Age Origins and Awakening did right, this game does wrong. The combat is a little bit more fluid, but for someone like me, RPGs are not really about combat, so this really wasn't an issue for me to start with. They nerfed all of the classes, except for the rogue. They made the rogue badass, but all the other classes in the game have been nerfed. The mage has been nerfed. The warrior has been nerfed. The rogue is badass, because they, instead of using 2 swords, they use 2 daggers that look like swords, and their combat style is pretty fluid and badass. But other than that, oh god, they focused on the battle system, but the storyline and the dungeons suffered. Because basically, in this entire game, they use the same 5 dungeons 10 to 15 to 20 times each. So basically, you're constantly treading over the same terrain in the entire game. It's really sad. I mean, it's really, really sad. There's like no real, you know, stuff going on here. There's no real innovation, you know. The party management, where you could basically control how a character growed, was slimmed down and dumbed down and made casual, which for an RPG is not a good thing. When RPGs are casual, that's never a good thing. Because RPGs by their nature are an investment style game. Like, you have to invest in it. And if you're a casual gamer, you're not going to want to invest, and you're not going to get much out of it anyway. But anyway, they basically made it into this dumbed down, pared down system that really didn't give you the level of options you had in the original. And they also made it so that, you know, in the original Dragon Age Origins, you could basically like outfit your other characters. So let's say you found a really awesome outfit, you could, you know, grow your side characters a certain way and then put them in that outfit, and you could have some totally insane combinations. For example, one of the characters in the game was a chick named Wynn. She was a mage, and basically I made her into a battle mage and gave her mage armor, which made it so that she could use her magic to wear armors that required a huge amount of strength, even though she didn't have it. And I gave her armor of the Juggernaut. So she could take a lot of damage and cast a lot of spells, making her one of my top level characters to use. She was my healer, and I needed to keep her alive. And using this, she stayed alive a very long time. Well, you kind of lost that awesomeness in Dragon Age Origins. You could earn special outfits, but it was like the whole friggin' outfit. And you could equip characters with weapons, but like there weren't that many for your side characters. I mean, it shows that Dragon Age Origins 2 was rushed. They wanted to strike while the iron was hot, whereas it takes years to make a good RPG. It's not something that you can be like, oh, we pumped that shit out in 2 years. Which is why I'm glad it's taking them. Dragon Age Origins 2 came out 2 years ago. It's taking them 4 years to make this game. Like 3-4 years. So hopefully we'll get a good Dragon Age 3. Or sorry, the Inquisition, whatever. So anyway, basically this game... frightening. Frighteningly was a disappointment. It was a major disappointment from the original game. You see a few returning characters, gameplay wise, but the gameplay was let down. Music. The music was okay, not as good as the first one, but it was serviceable. It was the music from the second game was too similar to the first game, but not in a good way. It was like they were basically trying to recapture lightning in a bottle, and they couldn't do it. The graphically, this game is smoother and better looking. It's like they took the engine from Jade Empire and put it in a Dragon Age Origin game. And if the game had given you the level of control that Jade Empire did, it would have been a good game, but it didn't. So it wound up feeling very faux. Okay, very fake and forced. So in conclusion, the review, this game, I mean, if you're a Dragon Age fan, get it, but don't expect it to be as good as the first one, okay? Because it isn't. It is clearly BioWare was reaching, and this game was forced. EA probably gave them a deadline and said, you'll get a bonus if you reach this point, and they just put it out there because you could tell that they didn't put the level of time and energy that they should have put in making this game playable. Now, when this game came out, there was a big hubbub about how they used the same dungeons multiple times, and why wasn't there different locations? And the developers were like, well, we wanted the game to be about the city. Look, I understand I understand the bullshit they were trying to sling, but really the problem is that they didn't want to put the time and energy to make multiple locations, okay? Because the original Dragon Age took like 3 years to make, and it was very cost intensive. Now they made the profit back because it was a very high selling RPG and people loved it, got a lot of critical acclaim, sold well. This one, they just wanted to pump something out there with the Dragon Age name on it, and you could tell. Okay, they just shat this out, and it was terrible. But if you're a Dragon Age fan, play it just to keep up with the story. But if you aren't a Dragon Age fan, don't play it. Do not play this game. It is... Ugh. Actually, no, I take that back. If you never played Dragon Age, the first one, Dragon Age Origins, play this game. But if you played the first one and you're expecting Dragon Age 2 to be more of the same, you'll be sadly disappointed. Grossly disappointed. Sadly and grossly disappointed. Okay. So that's my final say on this. Don't buy it if you are a fan of the first one. Buy it if you haven't played the first one. And if you just aren't into RPGs at all, don't buy it at all, because this game, it's not a good RPG. It's not a good BioWare RPG. It's been dumbed down to where, you know, they've made it so casual that everything that made the original game great is no more. So, yeah, there we go. Okay, that's the end of this review. Dragon Age 2.